Hi guys, I'm joined by lovely Marium today, who has kindly lent her face to me for a shoot also after this. But she's been a champion of just be so kindly without like any reason to be. So
because it's a great product, and also who wouldn't love an opportunity to be glammed up by Bina? I think the last time I got glammed by Bina was my wedding. So
So Mariam is here today and we're just going to show you how we create this simple easy glam while having, of course, talking our heads off to each other.
yeah.
Enjoy guys. Yeah, so tell me Mariam,
Yeah.
I was just thinking while watching your stories that you are singularly blessed
Bina
to have
my stories.
Of course, I love your stories, especially your khana, by the way. Like, I can't cook, so when I see somebody quickly achieve something, I'm like, this would have taken me 9 hours. I'm not a quick
Everyone
cook.
thinks that, but it's this coming from me who didn't know how to cook when I moved abroad. So.
I read somewhere in one of your stories that you had planned on it being like a cooking sort of space.
And I still want it to be.
I mean,
I think
you do make incredible food all
I
the
think
time.
it was supposed to be cooking, but I think now it's become lifestyle.
I feel like also it's very interesting in these moments, which I think I've also been blessed to be a part of, is that people are home and alone. They want to hang out with somebody. And you're very lucky that your husband, your children, your parents, your siblings, everybody's very natural. It's not like anybody is playing to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
They
They're
are
all...
very natural in front of the camera and are really good. Your mother, though, of course, is, but your children even, they're like the least bothered. It's just there.
Yeah, I think if there's some takeaway I want people to see from, if they're watching my stories, a takeaway would be that this is who we are. I am this crazy, and I blurt out what I'm thinking. Salim is the serious one amongst us. So I want everybody to, know that there's no pretense. Ye hum hain aise.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is that I get messages from people saying, "Oh my God, same." So it's not that we're doing something unusual.
And yes, I think yes, it is that you are relatable. But as anybody who's a, let's say, content creator or creative person knows, that you can try and get stuff across. It doesn't necessarily happen. This is like lightning striking what you have. It's one of those, no, seriously. It's just like you're sitting in the car and you're also going to dance around the kitchen with the kids. It's very welcoming, and you don't notice.
I'm so glad.
You don't notice it's being...
that's what people think, because not everybody thinks like that. I think one should never underestimate the power of kindness. And if you're looking at somebody's family and you're looking at them, and I say this to people all the time, thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your time with us.
Yeah.
And it's precious time. Anybody who's taking time out and just, spending it with me, watching my stuff, or I'm so blessed, and I never take that for granted. And so if you're looking at my content and saying, this makes me happy, or
I mean, you are batshit crazy, let's be real.
I absolutely am.
It's like, why do you have the energy to do the jhadu pocha, cook, and now dance? Okay.
सब करना है.
Like,
लेकिन जब वो dip होता है energy में, तो फिर सब कुछ dip होता है. फिर coach करने का दिल नहीं करता है. Then you're just like, oh, forget everything.
Because you seem like one of those, and I mean, I'm sure this is a thing we all struggle with.
Yeah.
We all feel like the next person is managing somehow to achieve it all.
Yeah, I think comparison is the thief of joy, and but and also you'll notice if you're like wanting to have a child, you'll somehow notice that everybody around you is having a child. If you want to buy a car, everybody around you is buying a car. Like that's somehow how you'll see things. And if you're noticing that you're in a slump work-wise, you'll definitely notice that other people around you are doing amazing things. And it gets to you. It gets to me a lot. Oh yeah.
You seem very...
I don't ever want to give out the impression that I'm sorted. I'm not. Now that this is a career for me, in the work element of it, when I do campaigns and stuff, there's definitely looking at other people's things and being like, okay. But I think the reminder that I constantly have to give myself is that comparison is the thief of joy.
So you got onto Instagram thinking I'm going to do, from one of your stories I picked that up, thinking I'm going to do something about food. Is that how it started?
So I had been watching the space Instagram for about 6 years.
Okay.
Just as a user, watching my friends, other content creators, people who brought a lot of value to my life. And I always wondered if this would be something that I could do, and if I would, what would it be? And I always pivoted towards food. If I do it, it's going to be cooking, because...
So this is when you were learning to cook, or you...
No, this is when I'm still learning. I mean, there's so many things that subah utھ ke ye khane ka dil kar raha hai, okay, let's try to make it. But the foundation was sorted.
Right.
And
so Mama had sort of...
No, my mother was a terrible cook.
Oh my God. So
she's very good now. But I had in my mind very clear focus on how I wanted to do it. I didn't want to come up in this space and just, give me the recipes. And I wanted to be focused on how I wanted to share, what I wanted to share. And it took me a long time. Like 6 years.
So Yani, first you started posting very foodie. Is that how it started? Okay.
And it was basically like every night, whatever I cooked. I love it, but I also feel like I can't be making, I need to come up with newer stuff. I mean, but I have such a sweet community. They're like, ab dal bhi banane hai to wo dikha diya kare,
I'll tell you something. I've watched like big celebrities, get online and stuff. And during lives, you don't see as many people on their lives as there are on yours. And they're so invested. It's like 200-300 people watching you going, okay, will you put garlic now? And where is Salim Bhai? And
it's too funny.
they're really...
It's also just, I cannot be more blessed and more grateful for this like community that truly
they're invested in your life.
Yeah, and in a very sweet, we're part of, and they are. I mean, there's some people who will message me every single day.
What?
Yeah, every single day. And there's people who will, I guess, seeing me for 2 years now, will be like, you're looking off, are you okay? And I think that level of love, that you can see it in somebody's eyes, or the way somebody's showing up, that's worth saying something about. Like you feel like
you've created something.
Yeah, that somebody can say something's up.
So then you kind of organically morphed into, how did the family start to make their appearance? Like, were they okay with it immediately? Or was there like initial shyness and resistance?
No,
and then...
they were fine.
Yeah.
There was no issue there. And this was not a strategic move. I don't have any kind of strategy for anything in my life.
Join the club.
But I think what ended up happening was I realized that I had lived in the US at that point for, 7.5 years. And I had a story. Like everybody does. I tell everybody this. Everybody has a story. And I realized that mine was something I'd love to share. So along with, because I also don't want this to come across as, oh, she's so sorted, she's a doctor's wife in the US. And I mean, if you see her house and her kids and her dog and whatever, she's sorted because, she married well.
Much better.
And the idea that I am because, Salim's a doctor is not untrue, but it's also like, but let's back up a bit. I want you to know about the hard times. I want you to know about how it was becoming an expat. Because if you ask me what the hardest thing I've ever done, it was becoming an expat. Because it's something I never ever
assumed you'd be doing?
Yeah, ever. Yeah, I think the hardest thing was to go outside and not see people that look like you. And for me, that was like, okay, you don't see the familiarity.
I feel like though, and I understand what you're saying, that it's a bit, not surprising, but yeah, but I feel like the sort of homogeneous nature of Pakistan is exactly what I think breeds our inability to even realize that we're fairly knee-jerk racist, like the way we speak about other cultures and
absolutely,
like the way we refer to them even.
Absolutely.
The phrases are like for example, I'll give you an example of something that I find very strange here, is people will always, so now look at your close economic ties and frankly you're all vaccinated because of this country. So you would think that people would be in the same way that they're obsessed and in love with sort of Turkey. You would think that culturally speaking, you would also be grateful and obsessed with China. Yet the beauty standard has not at all translated. And I'll often have people sit down and say, Acha, don't make my eyes Chinese. Yes. I'm like, but what is that? Oh, because that would be the worst thing in the world, right? God forbid, Chinese.
Correct.
And it's something that they say on the daily, I hear this.
Correct.
And on the daily, I'm saying, how can you just, what are you trying to say? That an entire nation is something that you don't want to look like,
I think for so long it's also been accepted. I was having a conversation about this with somebody yesterday, that for so long things that we've said have been okay because even nobody corrected us, challenged us and stopped other people from saying, ये गलत है और ऐसे किसी के बारे में या किसी मुल्क के लोगों के बारे में नहीं कहना चाहिए. But because that happened, it sort of seeped into nature to say it.
And to think it. And,
correct.
And I feel like our racism and our colorism are nicely tied up together.
Oh, absolutely.
We have this discomfort with the other, where we just think that how other people look, how other cultures look, is somehow less beautiful.
Correct.
And what's so funny is that we're also quite self-hating, but also other-hating. There's a lot of judginess that
we got problems.
we
got 99 problems
and 100 more. And I don't know why we in Pakistan have this attitude towards, other. But I do think it's because we are so homogenous. It's only Pakistanis in Pakistan. How many other cultures, do we allow to flourish? And how do you don't bump across, anyone else. So I get what you're saying, that when you go to one of these places and you're just like, where are my peeps,
Yeah. I think for a long time I looked for people that looked like me. I searched for them high and low because that's who I was most comfortable with.
Yeah.
You know, initially it was extremely difficult, and nobody prepares you for a massive change in weather. Nobody. I never knew what winter was, and you know, winter is not.
That's no joke over there.
When you just go up to Nathia Gali for a week, and you're on vacation, winter over there is hardcore.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready for the seasonal affected sadness that came with it. I never realized how much I was embracing this emotional, mental, and also, might I add, physical change. Because I put on a fair amount of weight the year I moved because I was just eating junk. I was, you know, up late at night, Salim was working, I was watching TV, and that's when I started cooking. So I was just consuming junk. And I put on weight, and I'll never forget, I read a message. A friend was visiting me and somebody had messaged, and the phone pinged, and it said, so she's put on a lot of weight, huh? As in Mariam's put on a lot of weight, huh? I remember seeing that and being like, oh my god, I'm being discussed. Like my weight's being discussed.
So
I don't think anything prepared me for all those changes. And I think in that, becoming an expat was so difficult for me.
You know,
by the way, जितना टाइम बीना ने सिर्फ मेरी आंखें सेट की है ना, उतना टाइम अगर मैं अपनी लाइफ को भी सेट करने में लगा दूँ ना,
you have a shoot, darling.
हाँ, ना कि उस लाइफ भी अगर मैं इतना टाइम करूँ ना सेट करने में,
it's glam time, darling.
मैं तो अब कंसीलर लगाती ही नहीं हूँ.
Just don't show off now.
नहीं, I was like, अब है तो है, अब मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ? They exist, they're right here.
Yeah, well, that's the way to be. You know, I mean, I feel like some days when I don't wear anything, I'm quite shameless and happy to like have nothing on my skin. But I've always had so many comments that I tend to cover it up because I don't want to hear it, you know, from people. But so good. Yeah, of course I have. You know.
I would think that you would be like, thank you so much for that unwarranted opinion.
No, I really think I've got a lot more bigger cojones than I do. I will shut down when somebody says something mean. I'm not good at
Bina, I'm so sorry.
Look up. That's okay. And I think any acne sufferers, you know, ek to you heard it from, you know, and even just child's curiosity of, what's that? You know, when you're a kid, if they haven't had acne, they're like, what is going on with your pizza face? Pizza face was a common.
Yeah. My sister had cystic acne on her face, and she still suffers from it from time to time, you know, and I always had the pimple here or there, never like acne, but I'll never forget, like, you know, how much she suffered with it, how much her confidence also.
Totally.
And
it's your face, man.
Yeah, and then she just came to a point where she's just like, you know, I'm not giving anybody this power to say something to me.
Well, you know, since the other side of it is also if you're a makeup artist, it's very much like, surely you could, you know, cover that up. You know? Yeah. So there's a different pressure. But I feel like we're anyway, in general, a little unkind. And I used to think it was just a Desi thing, but I notice it's a thing, global thing.
No, it's a global thing.
People comment
It's a global
unkindly.
thing. And I think that's why I find that in the line that I'm in, for somebody to show up with any kind of kindness is a very big deal. To spend time, to say something with kindness, it's a very big deal.
Yeah.
And I never want to take that for granted.
Not only show up with kindness, it's not even just that. I feel like, and I'll say this for my peeps as well, when I get on lives, I have really, it's a kind community of people.
Yeah.
They're nice to each other, they're nice to me.
Yeah.
The kinds of messages that you know what I'm saying, that they send you
Absolutely.
these direct messages, they just don't have to, you know.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it'll be like, oh, you know, I saw you on a live and you seemed a little bit low today.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say, you know, I hope you know you're doing great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you know, this extended group of friends.
Yeah, and to know that somebody cares that much is
very sweet.
extremely sweet, and it's a very big deal. You know, we're also being made to believe on the daily that it's an unkind world. It's people are not nice to each other, and in that,
They are, that's true
and
also.
they are.
But the other side
No
is
doubt.
also true.
But I don't ever want to take away from those who do show up, and those who, out of the goodness of the heart, are kind.
Yeah. And I would say this about...
Especially because it costs nothing.
Yeah, but also, you know, I think that social media does, and I give it myself a bad rap, because I do think it can be quite harmful. Because
Of course.
it's like the comparing Olympics. You know, who's got what, you know.
Absolutely.
Why don't I have that? It's all about, and you know, I hate envy posters. Like, look at my fabulous life with my fabulous rings and my fabulous child and my fabulous home and my...
It's called hashtag blessed.
Yeah, hashtag blessed.
Bina.
I find that kind of posting where it's about, and you can be like me if you do da 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 da. Hey, you be you, babes. You know,
Yeah.
stop telling people that they need to be like you. I find that so objectionable.
Right.
Which literally comes down to one of the reasons behind our brand name, which was, I hate this idea that there's this constant pressure
Yeah.
to be, you know, somebody else ki tarah.
Yeah. I think celebrating individuality, knowing it, owning it, is a conclusion that only you can come to. My mummy is texting me. How, you know what she's saying? Hi, how can I see my TikTok?
That moment in the kitchen when you are trolling her about her kitchen tiles. I watched that 5 times. Because I was like, you know, this is borderline. Either she's going to get a slap or a laugh. I was watching it with bated breath. Is this a chanta? Is this Hasi coming? So you got married, you know, were there, you were lonely, and you thought, okay, I'm assuming this is how it works. I'm going to do something. Is that how it happened? That you sort of
No. I worked as a teacher, then I became an administrator. I moved to the US and found out that there's a lot of hoops you have to go through to get a job. And I tried, and again, you know, that was so difficult because I had 10 years experience.
So what were you doing before?
I was, I'm an early childhood development specialist.
Oh, wow.
And I was working with special needs children. I was working in administration. I was doing a lot of things, and I thought, okay, I will get a job. Because we needed it. We needed it to be a 2-income household, you know.
I mean, mostly when you're in the States.
Thankfully, it worked with one in that we lived bare bones, minimum. There was no vacationing, no shopping, there was nothing. And we managed.
Yeah.
But
there's a certain pride in those early days.
Couldn't get a job. And then happened to have gotten pregnant. Not because it was planned. And once that happened, everything changed for me, and that my sole focus was I just wanted to be at home with my kid, because childcare is extremely expensive. So even if I was to get a job, anything that I was bringing home would have to go to childcare.
Very good.
And yes, the flip side to it was that, but you were still getting out of the house and you were doing something and you were working on your career. And I 100% will tell somebody, if that is important to you and that is of value to you and you want to do it, do it. Because you know you best and what you need. If being at home and sitting with your kids is going to, is not good for you mentally, don't do it. But it was a decision I made for myself that I wanted to be home with my kids. And I will always say this, luckily for me, it worked. Salim's resident salary just fit us, and we cut a lot of corners to make it just fit us. So Instagram didn't just, oh, I would love for something to be for myself. I grappled with being on this public space for years. What are people going to, say about my kids or my family, and do I want to open them up to that kind of criticism?
I was curious about that because this is a hairy topic now.
Right, and I want to be very mindful with my kids.
So did you have a chat with them?
Of course.
Because they're people.
I absolutely had a chat with my kids, and there's days where, my kids will not want to be on. But here's the other thing. I will also see my children, like one day Mikhail came to me and he told me to take a picture or a video, and he's like, and now put it on Instagram. And I was like, okay, no.
Why no?
I have to make sure that the boundary is placed, not my kids. And the minute you feel like, oh, हम परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे इंस्टाग्राम के लिए, मुझे उधर ही शट डाउन कर देना है.
अच्छा.
हाँ.
Oh, how interesting.
I understand with my line of work, there'll always be like a line, and sometimes you push the line over there, sometimes you pull it back, and so I'm still trying to find my balance. Like sometimes if I'm, Mikhail's doing something cute or funny, I'll get comments from people who will be like, आप तो बेटे से ही प्यार करती हैं, आप लैला से प्यार, आप तो बिल्कुल, but
so you get these.
You have to understand that I'm her parent. I will not love one than the other, and also it's perhaps something that I'm trying to place a boundary, or that she doesn't want to be on, and I don't think that you can come to anybody and say that you love this person more, and that therefore you show this person more. So
that's very interesting, because I feel like if you tell the child who's suddenly interested, hey, put this on Instagram, that no, I don't think so. I feel like that's the equivalent of telling the kid, no, you cannot work in daddy's factory when you're 18 and take it over. Right?
I mean,
it's like, I built this. Not for you.
But I also don't want them to think, हम बड़ी चीज है. और है. मेरे दोनों बच्चे are hilarious, and but I just can't have that.
No, it's good.
I just can't have
good
that.
Parenting. And the other thing, I can as a non-parent stand here and pontificate on good parenting. But I'll tell you as an outside observer who's not in this parenting game, that I see a lot of what I would say is overindulgence. That it's much easier to say, kar lo. Because that means you can still stay on your phone and do what you were doing, and the kid is given the money and the car and just told, take care of yourself. It's much harder to be the parent who's earned the right of respect to say no, and for the kid to go, okay. That's hard to build, that if you say no, they go, okay, their boundaries. I see too little of that.
It's very difficult, and it's something that there came a time where I was going to Target, and every time I'd go to Target or Kroger or something, the kids would walk out with like something. And Salim pointed it out to me. He's like, do you know that every time you go to the store, you buy them something?
Yikes.
And initially I was like, how dare you say something about my parenting and my children.
And do you know I'm a child development psychologist? You may be a doctor.
A dia surgeon. मैं पूरा दिन उनके साथ गुजारती हूँ, अगर 2 मिनट की खुशी मिल जाती है No, but then I realized, I was like, ठीक है, $1 की चीज ले रहे हैं, $1 section से या कोई भी.
But it's still that.
It's not like I'm buying them.
But it's the endorphin rush.
But it's this thing about this validation that I'm also giving them कि हमने कोई चीज उठाई है तो, हम खरीद रहे हैं. And I had to, be like, no, we're not buying anything today, and I'm sorry.
And how did that go down?
It was fine. I think it's very important to communicate also. And not that I'm a parenting expert, but initially Mikhail would give a lot of resistance.
But I wanted.
Yeah, but why? Why? And it would be coupled with a tantrum, it would be coupled with just crying, bad mood, but it was persistence. It was also like, guys, we're going to the store, let me tell you in advance, we're not buying anything.
And it's okay. I don't know how you guys do for me, obviously, I've never morphed into this mother person. But I watch my friends go through motherhood, and always the first baby is this big moment, because you go from just you person
to somebody you don't recognize.
Well, to now I am a mother. You are adding you're becoming something else. It's like PhD grads where they're like, okay, now I've got the PhD. That's also its moment where it's an identity shift.
100%.
Or a doctor, your husband, it'll be like from med student to doctor. Again, it's an identity shift.
Yeah.
Let's, by the way, shout out doctors, heroes. Heroes.
Absolutely. अच्छा मैं close आके देखूं. Very nice.
Just simple, quick. Just be, Jani.
Just be, guys.
So yeah.
अच्छा मैं तो just be हूँ वैसे.
You are a just beer.
Well, so Bina did my makeup for my nikah and my walima, and I was actually laughing with her that she did my nikah makeup, which was in the afternoon evening, and then I said, "Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow." And Bina's like, "Oh, what time are you coming?" I said, like 8 a.m. And Bina was like, "What?
Why?
You're the one who's coming and harassing me.
Why are you doing this to me? Can't you get married later?"
And I was like, "Oh crap! I hope she's not gonna be in a terrible mood."
Is it too late to reschedule your nikah? Can you maybe send her a mass SMS, guys?
And this morning I told her, "Listen, I need to come early." She said, "Mariam, I can't believe you did me 2 in a row." वैसे by the way ये लग रहा है कि मेरे जो आई लैशेज है ना इतने नेचुरल तो मालिक ने खुद भी कभी नहीं लगाए होंगे.
I'm so glad.
Listen, I have
augmentation is like, what is going on? Why are you so hot? Yeah. It shouldn't be, I love your makeup. It should be, dude, you look hot today. That's the best way. For me, anyway. This is where I'm now very excited to get to our stage of lipsticks.
I know.
Our lip spectrums are so good on the cheeks. They are so good on the cheeks.
So I've never tried them on the cheeks.
So they are eyes, lips, cheeks. Oh wow.
Aspy.
So Ruby Cocoa, the base of the Kashmiri chai. It's such a good, quick eyeshadow base. Wow.
Love.
So, what do you want to put on today? I know you're a Kashmiri chai.
You know what I want to put on today. Like, so you
want to go with Kashmiri chai?
Yeah.
You want to go bright? You want to?
No, I don't want
to. No. Straight into Kashmiri chai.
But if you feel like you want to play around with it, like go for it. But yeah.
Girl,
my favorite is the Kashmiri chai. I also love the peach one. Those two are the base. The base colors hote hain. They're my go-tos. I love them. I also want to know who came up with how did you design the packaging, because it's like textured and
so the packaging
I love them.
Is that forest certified paper. That is it's like trees that's forest managed, so a tree that has to be felled for the health of the forest, so it's certified paper. So you're not harming anyone. No, we hate the environment harm. It is fully recyclable. And all of the stuff in here is good for you. We've made sure, we do like fragrance, because if you've ever smelled something genuinely without fragrance, it stinks. I'll be honest. It's like super when you go to a pharmacist and you can smell that medicinal smell.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but when I'm trying to feel pretty, I don't want to smell like all medicine-y.
Yeah.
So there's a small amount of fragrance.
I know my nostrils are singed after diapers, so.
Oh, that's
just
true.
singed. There's
over.
Yeah, I love them.
But
and
yes,
I don't think there's anything like them on the market.
Aww.
It's true, it's true. I don't think there's anything like this on the market.
Yeah, so you want to go with champagne, we can totes do that. Okay, so you moved to the States, you
Oh.
had your little life with your husband, and unexpectedly it became more lives in the life. So now you're a mom,
Yeah.
and where does this Instagram moment happen for you? Like how many years into motherhood?
6.5.
Right.
And in the process, really, lots of things. I became very lonely,
Oh.
but I also, no, it was very good.
Hmm.
It was very good. I needed a person like me who was constantly surrounded by work, family, career, friends. I needed to be lonely because I don't think when I look back, yeah, I'm very proud of the person I was. But the person I am today, because of that solitude and loneliness and time that I spent really dissecting who I was going to become as a mom and who I was going to become as a wife, especially a wife to a frontline worker.
So that
It
must
was
be something
pivotal
else.
for me because I realized I really needed to spend a lot of time on me. I really needed to spend a lot of time on making sure that I was going to be a good parent for my child. And she's getting the tissues because she doesn't want me to ruin my makeup.
Aww.
But
Also, just that, isn't that a girl instinct? Somebody cries and you grab a tissue.
sorry, I ruined your makeup.
You really don't dare.
I'm
FYI, any bride watching, this is how. If makeup was so ruinable by water, every bride would look crazy by the time she got home. And does happen.
Yeah, I remember when you did my makeup. I told you. I said I'm going to be howling, and you said don't worry, and nothing happened.
Yeah, sorry. So you were saying to be a good mama.
Yeah, I remember just looking at Leila. I think she was 6 weeks old, and Salim went back to work after a week, and I was really struggling. I was watching my friends go out and having fun, and my husband was working. I had no money. I was in a really horrible apartment. It was like the floor was like that. So if you rolled a bottle, it would stop in the middle. You know, it wouldn't.
Oh my God! I've seen this.
Yeah, it was bad, and I remember feeling like, what have I done? And you know that because I was going through postpartum depression, and I remember just looking at her, and she was looking at me and smiling and just looking at me, and I was like, am I ever going to be worthy enough of this smile that I'm getting?
Oof.
And I immediately in my mind decided that I got help, but this very low feeling that you're having, this I'm not a good enough person, alright, what are you going to do about it? Where do you feel like you can help yourself be the best version of you? And it took being lonely and spending time alone and being away from everything I knew that was comfortable, which was my parents and my siblings and work, and breaking out of that mold. And in being uncomfortable and in being lonely, I realized that there was somebody inside there all along who could be so content with just this. And in that, realizing that it was a massive blessing that I got to be a mom to my kids, and I got to be home with them, and I got to be the wife that I wanted to be. I didn't want to be the kind of wife that I saw people around me being. You know, what kind of relationship did I want to have with Salim? The one where he feels that, oh, you know, I make the money and you're home taking care of the kids, which he wouldn't do, but I wanted to make sure that we both brought
Something to the table.
equality to the table and that we both were acknowledged. But how could I do that if I never acknowledged myself and the work that I was putting in on the hourly, on the daily? So that self-acknowledgement of what I was bringing to the table in doing the most mundane things was essential because never in my life did I see any woman who did all of that call herself worthy and and acknowledge the magnitude of work that she did.
So it's so funny because this comes back to almost like this internalized patriarchy where we are saying
100%.
ये तो हमारी duty है ये तो, and I think this has come up in Pakistan this year a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick the ruby cocoa on your cheeks, by the way. So this is something you should do. Look how yummy that's going to be on your cheeks, no?
No, I've never used it.
So this is not just champagne ka base color, guys. Ruby cocoa. I use it everywhere. This color, everywhere. I back most of the other ones with it too. I do this and I put the pink on. I do this, I put the peach on. I do
love
this,
it.
I love it. It's like that perfect
Well,
desi.
I can't wait to see what it looks like on my cheeks.
So I will just show you. So you want to take like a fluffy-ish brush,
Okay.
and it's got oil in it, which is why it's comfortable to wear, right? So you should just
Will it matte on my cheeks?
So you just should do like chalao it a little bit.
Chalao it a little bit.
Chalao the brush. And really lightly so you don't break through the base. Just glide it on. It gives it, because it's so pigmented, it gives like immediate depth. I must give you a mirror because you are blind and can't see.
बंदा lenses ही पहन के आ जाए बीना खान के shoot के लिए.
So this is a profound moment that you're sitting all alone and
Yeah.
and
But
I
also
don't
there
think-
was just a lot of resentment, right? Oh my god, you get to go to work and you get to go out and meet people and you get to be an adult. Meanwhile, I get to, just do this. And I realized that it's resentment that's just being channeled in the wrong place. And it's not also fair. So till I didn't acknowledge myself and put a lot of respect in what I do and give it izzat, how can I expect everybody else to? बाकी लोग तो नहीं कहेंगे हाय देखो तुम इसलिए ये सब कुछ कर सकते हो क्योंकि तुम्हारी बीवी ने सारा कुछ संभाला है. सब ऐसे नहीं सोचते हैं.
Yeah, in fact it's, this is a, see, your cheek?
Oh wow!
It's got this real depth.
Look at that. It's also contoured a little bit.
It is, so it is the contouring.
Love it.
So it's got enough pink so it can be blushy, and it's got the right amount of brown. It just hugs your contours and gives you a hint of pinky browniness, which I just think is so hot. So I can see why you like Kashmiri chai. It's good on you.
अच्छा नीचे से लेते हैं. मैं हमेशा ऊपर से करती
No, that's only so that when I'm shooting, it doesn't look like a.
But baby,
mess.
that's a nice way to keep your lipstick
Yeah,
looking
so
nice.
it looks nice. It doesn't look destroyed from the top.
नीचे से लेते
If you come to the salon, you'll see it quite the opposite. I just murder it. So if you use this on the daily too, your lips stay non-chapped.
Which is such a big problem because it's so cold where I live.
So this, because of the beeswax and the safflower oil and the plant-based squalene, it genuinely treats your lips. So I'm sure you've noticed there's like a smoothness.
Very, very.
And that is these products. So what's really great is this is a real wintertime lipstick. If you've forgotten your chapstick, you get that mirchi feeling when you put on a lipstick. This won't give that to you. It'll actually help your lips out. I'm not saying it's a replacement, but if you find yourself stuck without something for your lips and you have one of these, you can put it on and you'll find relief.
Oh, nice.
I was going to say, this is something that I think is very rarely talked about, which is postpartum. And it's minimized, like you're supposed to just have the baby and be fine and happy and, ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
And I remember in my 20s, one of my besties had a baby and she said the same thing, that everybody is off living their life and I'm left here with this child who of course I love, but they can't speak back to me. Like I'm talking to somebody and I'm spending my whole day with somebody who's at the end of the day mute. So I am 100% alone and it's very isolating. And one of my friends said that she felt like she was sort of caged up, with this.
Were they living alone? Like, were they here?
here, all everybody was here. You know, and I've seen now through various friends this struggle of, you know, nobody can really help, right? It's like, okay, so we've been there for the birth, we've helped you for the first few seconds. Your mother will help you for 20, 30, 40, whatever days.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, if you're in a place where your mom is accessible, or if you have a mom, you know, to acknowledge and have the sense to take out time to see to yourself, that's rare.
I think when you become a parent, you are suddenly in a situation where you have to work. You're at your minimum. You're at your lowest. Regardless of how you've had your birth, your body is working at zero capacity. But you have to pull it to maximum capacity. And not just your body, but also mentally. Because sleep deprivation does really crazy things to you. And enough research and enough things have happened where parents have been sleep deprived and what's happened. And you know, I used to generalize. I used to look at my friends who've had kids in Pakistan and be like, यार उनके पास तो इतनी help है, कोई खाना बना रहा है, कोई बर्तन धो रहा है, किसी ने laundry करती है. But that's all relative, and you can never take away from the actual exercise of all of it, the birth, the transformation, the metamorphosis. And regardless of your geography, you're still going through that.
The metamorphosis of girl to mom.
Yeah.
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 And you know, that's still something that regardless of where you are, you go through. So 100%, I think that surround yourself with the right people who are watching you, who are telling you, take a break. You know, I think some of the most therapeutic things that I did for myself was Salim would come home and I would dump the kid, sit in the car, and I'd go to McDonald's and get the $1 ice cream, and I'd sit in the parking lot and I'd sob and I'd eat that ice cream. But I'd come home and I'd feel so much better. And so many times Salim would say, go out. No, I'm fine, Salim, I don't need to go out. And he'd be like, go out. Get coffee, go for a drive, do something, just go.
You open your hair and do Marium hair.
Okay, come on, Bina, do the honors.
Oh, wow, Janu. Flick it. Woohoo!
Are we going to do the whole... Remember in the Friends where you dress it
yeah.
I mean, I love it, thank you.
Oof, when you look down, you look super hot, I have to say.
When I look down?
Yes.
Hello. Oh, my skin looks so good.
Thanks.
It's obviously because I've been working hard on it and not the 30 minutes that Bina spent, you know.
No, but you know, if you have crunchy skin, then there's nothing I can do to make your base look like this. Your skin has to be happy to take the base in.
My
so
skin's very
exfoliation is key. Otherwise you're putting... No, well, you're very lucky. Your skin is just good at shedding its layers clearly.
Thank you.
You're beautiful, mashallah. So you're with the baby, you work on yourself, and then
both my kids went to school. And both my kids went to school, and Salim started work. He was done with training. And I said, okay, now what? I have this beautiful home that we just bought for the first time, and we became homeowners, and what do I do? How do I spend my time? I mean, there's a lot to do, but what do I want to do? Do I want to do this thing that I've been thinking about for a while? I was very focused on value. If I do something, it has to add value to my life, and it has to add value to whoever is going to watch. And if it's not going to do that, then I would just count it as something that I tried and didn't do it justice. But if I never try it, I'll always wonder if I could also do it. Because for 6 years I've been watching so many other content creators and loving what they did. And that being said, truly, they made me a roadmap. They paved the way. And because I watched them for 6+ years, I said, I want to do this. But again, just like these people have added value to my life, I want to be able to add value to others. And if I don't do well and it was tough because I had to get out of my own head, like so and so dekhega, my cousins and my friends and
I sympathize. Even when I go live, I have to forget that anyone I know is watching this.
I have to say, just stop.
You forget
if
it.
you keep thinking like that, you'll never
get crippled.
You'll never be able to step out of that zone and do something for you. And that's when I actually remember I worked out after a long time and I said, I'm going to put up a picture of my goals for 2019. And that's when I went public.
So, Abhi, 2019?
In 2019, in October, end October, I went public with my account.
And it resonated very quickly, I think.
At that time, and still is, it's so much fun. Every day when I show up having a good time with everything I do.
Yeah, you all have everybody has a sense of humor in your...
Yeah, but there's also days where I'm down and I'm sobby or I've had...
Yes, there are these pictures of you in the car. Like, guys, this picture. There are these that happen every 5th day. I've been in this line and I just want to kill someone.
I have a lot of those days. But, back in the day, there were so many other content creators who shared my stuff and we used to 5 of us would get together and cook something. So the theme used to be Thai. So, maine ye banaya, usne ye banaya. And it was I want to say 2 years ago, it was a bit of a simpler time.
Yeah, it was. I totally get it. Like when I started going live, I'm so camera shy, which sounds ridiculous to say now. When I started going live, I went live on Instagram as the pandemic hit. I started to feel lonely.
Yeah.
Lonely for where, I don't know about you, but I'm an addict of achievement. So I'm not doing a good liner every 20 minutes or somebody's
There's a amount of time you spent on my under eyes.
Yeah, I'm perfect. Yes, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but I need that thing of like, acha, so you've done this well today.
Yeah.
And then I can go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So when I was sitting here at home, like the room was clean then, the underwear drawer had been organized. Now what is my achievement? And I missed who I am, which is a makeup artist.
Yeah.
So I just took that leap, and it was genuinely this moment of genuine connection, and a genuine need. I also kept crying on camera.
Very, very fragile state that all of us were in.
Yeah, people were getting sick around.
But let me tell you, there were a lot of memes that went around. Can people just stop going live? A lot of people were saying some very harsh things, sick of people showing off what they've cooked and all of that. And to that I would say, everybody is going to deal with this differently. And we still are.
Yeah.
Some need to cook, some need to clean, some need to be productive, and some need to not be productive. This is our first pandemic we're ever going through.
And may it be our last, oh God.
Let's all just be kind to each other.
Yeah, it's true. I think that's where your feed is amazing, is there's a genuine honesty to it. There's a genuine, what I won't even say honesty, it's seemingly a lack of self-consciousness, which shows like what we all want, which is a level of self-acceptance that you've mashallah given to your children, which clearly your mother has, clearly your, she's like, I love the fact that she's happy to danto you on camera.
Like, me also.
It's too amazing to just be this accepting, and I don't think, especially with social media, I don't think we're being told that a lot, okay, it's fine to be who you are. We're always being told it's not fine. Fix this, inject that, wear this, move here.
Correct.
So I think this message, and that's why I immediately sent you. I felt like it's the same thing. Like you are a just be person,
I am a just be person, but it took me a while to be a just be person.
That's right. But the point is that if you are only being if only these kinds of people are being held up. Oh look, she's dieted and she's this thin and she's wearing XYZ dress with XYZ bag, going to XYZ place. If that's all you're being shown, then that's all young girls are looking to, and that's a problem for me. So the more of us who reclaim our space, and the seniors in my industry said, well, this is what you all get for not getting on social media, is you've got all of these people who are not makeup artists telling everybody how to do makeup. Yeah. So if we vacated the space or refused to get onto it, and I think it's an unfair pressure because we've already got a day job.
It is. It absolutely is an unfair pressure. And have you read this book, The Act of Doing Nothing, The Art of Doing Nothing, The Art of Doing Nothing? It's absolutely life-changing. You must read it. It talks a lot about social media and the need to correct and the need to fix and the need to say something all the time. Whereas there's this line, and listen to understand. You don't always have to listen to respond. Listen to understand.
That's important.
And
or not to wait to say your
right
thing.
And often enough I'll get the comment, आपने इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कहा, आपने इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कहा. I get I have a social responsibility, but I also understand that I also am just like you, listening, looking at what people are saying and making informed decisions. So listen to understand and don't always listen to respond. And back to, diverting, but back to what you said about social media and we're being told
envy posting is what I call it.
Yeah. And we're being told on, आपके eyebrows ठीक नहीं है, आप अपनी आंखों को ठीक करने के लिए करें और ये करें. Look, till we are not at whole and peace with how we are and how we look and what we wear and our connection with, not to bring religion into it, but our connection with whatever faith, a higher power that we reach to when we need something, or till we don't have that, we will always look at something else and say, सही कह रही है, ये मेरी आंखें गलत है, सही कह रही है, मुझे ऐसी underlines वाली जो, we'll always keep looking. And you can use any skincare in the world, the best. You can slap that La Mer, whatever you call it, till there is not your internal.
Yeah, it's true.
It'll show.
Yeah, it's true. And in fact, I find this pursuit really stressful to watch.
It is.
People saying, but I have this, but I have that, but I have to fix this. Fix what? Which is again why this brand was important to us and why we're doing the work we're doing, which is, what is this idea of perfection? A, perfect according to who?
Yeah.
B, you're not making a machine. You're a human and you are more than how you look.
But
so, sure, express yourself through makeup, but I would hate the idea that I'm putting something out on the market that's telling people you're gross until you use this. Absolutely not.
And also, there will be content for everyone. Understand that. If you are only consuming one kind of content that's showing you one kind of eye makeup and only one kind of outfit, know that there is something out for everyone.
Yeah.
Every body type, every color, every culture, every faith, every gender.
It's very fascinating to look at different people's feeds.
Yeah.
Like when I look at my husband's feed or his YouTube videos, his YouTube selection, I feel so ashamed because it's so esoteric and
Yeah, you look at Celine's, it's all like
doc stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then mine will be like People's Hottest Man of the Year and BuzzFeed.
So understand that there is something out for everyone, and if you are looking at something and I also say this to people, अगर मेरी चीज को देख के आपको खुशी नहीं मिल रही, आप uncomfortable है, आपको दुख हो रहा है, आप unfollow, take a break. There is somebody out there for everyone.
It's true.
I will not, and I don't want to be everybody's cup of tea. I cannot be everybody's cup of tea.
So that's also a very important point in life in general. Nobody can be popular with universal popularity is not
Change
possible.
the room you're in. Change what is making you feel. If watching all these things is making you uncomfortable, take a break.
Yeah.
take a break. But if you constantly feel as if यार मेरे पास ये बैग नहीं है, वो जोड़ा नहीं है, मेरे नाखून ऐसे नहीं लगते हैं, मुझे ये क्रीम लेनी है, you don't need that.
But it's the slot machine sabotage.
I get it, and Bina, this is
you're
why
addicted. It's
this
dangerous.
is why taking weekends off for me is imperative. Because I give so much of myself into 5 days a week on being on social. I was realizing that I'm actually not getting time with my kids. I'm just looking at and personally myself, I started with this. I look at my friends' work, and it's not jealousy. It's, am I doing enough? Should I be hustling more? And I had to realize, you know what? It's not about this hustle. How can I get this work to make money? How can I do this to make money? You know what? I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. We handle, we manage, we're with each other, we're happy. So I had to put a boundary and say 5 days of social media consumption is good for me.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot for me.
Yeah, a lot of people should do this too. Like you should have.
And now I've started deleting the app from my phone.
Oh, that's
I delete
smart.
the app from my phone because subconsciously,
Yeah, you'll check.
you'll just check. So now I'm like,
So how are you doing your lives, for example?
I usually don't come on live.
So you record the video and you put it in your stories.
Yeah, but on the weekends I'm not on social at all.
That's interesting.
At all.
Yeah.
Because you also realize how much you're consuming.
Yeah,
You consume a
dangerous.
lot.
When you see that screen report, you're like,
Yeah.
well, how many
Yeah.
hours?
You
Okay.
consume a lot, you're watching a lot.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of you've got feelings about everything and you're so overstimulated.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm not overstimulated all the time. I am.
Yeah.
I am overstimulated.
You
a
are
lot.
definitely, especially with mascara.
Yeah.
Very much stimulation.
So, weekends off.
Yeah, that's a good
Time
plan.
off. Taking a break. Realizing that I don't feel good watching this.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Well, it's excellent that you are this voice that's on there, which is more balanced and reasonable, and you grumble about,
Life में मुझे किसी ने कभी balance नहीं कहा है, but
I think you're bringing balance to social media for us, where it is that place where, yes, you mashallah got what would be ostensibly the desi dream, right? A doctor, husband,
yes.
America में आपको लेके गए हैं, right? It's all the dream.
Yes.
But you will then come on and be like, oh God, I have to do jharu pocha now.
And I'm very proud of the hustle and how hard we worked to get it. We have worked.
I mean, there's no such thing as a doctor who doesn't work. They're behind of doctors.
But there was no there was no monetary support that we had. And monetary support matters a lot.
Yeah.
And we worked exceptionally hard at making a good family life for ourselves. So I will not even say, okay, yes, I'm not living the dream. I'm
Mashallah.
totally, touch wood, living the dream that both of us envisioned for each other.
Well,
but we worked.
Of course. And I just have to say that...
Just like you lived your dream.
Oh,
You worked for it.
Yes, I did work
You
for
worked
it.
for it.
Yeah.
You thought about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And you've come to the point where, I don't know how long we decided to do this, but
Yeah. I mean, I've been talking about it for years, and I do feel genuine joy at the same thing, which is when somebody puts it on and is like, damn, I'm hot. That's all I'm working for here. Is literally, that's kind of my life goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've had your makeup done. I'll keep going until there's that moment when you guys are like, damn, girl.
Yeah.
The gift of making people feel confident and happy is it's what I'm all about. So, and so are you. So that's why I grabbed you for this shoot. So thank you so much, Marium, for coming in. I'll just sneak in here. And she is a Kashmiri girl, Kashmiri chai girl, not a Kashmiri girl. And look, the thing with that, which I'm super proud about this color, is everybody's like, oh, I'm warm skin, that'll be too light, and I have to go come here. And when you put it on, you realize that it's actually
I really think it's universal.
It's saturated and beautiful.
And I mix it with everything.
Me too.
I mix it with everything. Not just your colors, but I mix it with
there's no reason for purity. If you want to throw it on top of a mat,
everything.
go for it,
I love it.
Mix it with everything.
And I love you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much
for
having me.
coming.